The sun hung high over the city, its warm glow spilling through the glass walls of one of the most luxurious restaurants, where a moment was about to unfold that would change lives forever. The millionaire, Adrian Vaughn, sat at a table dressed in perfection, but his heart was drowning in a storm no amount of money could calm. His wife, Elena, once full of life and laughter, now sat beside him in a wheelchair, her legs motionless, her eyes tired from countless hospital visits, miracle promises, and sleepless nights. Adrian had tried everything: doctors, specialists, therapies, experimental treatments, but nothing had restored her ability to walk. That afternoon, he wasn't expecting hope. He was expecting another day of silently grieving the woman he used to dance with. But hope had a strange way of choosing the most unexpected messengers. And on that bright day, hope walked toward him barefoot. If you believe in kindness, miracles, and second chances, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Ripple of Kindness right now. Your support helps stories like this reach more hearts. The girl appeared suddenly, her dark hair tangled, her dress torn in several places, and a small plate of leftover scraps trembling in her hands. She looked like she hadn't eaten in days, her cheeks hollow, but her eyes, those deep, steady eyes, held something unexplainable. Not desperation, not fear, something else, something stronger. She stopped beside Adrian's table, staring directly at Elena. There was an intensity in her gaze that made the tired woman blink, as if someone had suddenly shined a light into her fading world. Adrian frowned, irritated and confused, wondering how she even got inside such an exclusive restaurant. Security was usually strict, but today maybe fate opened the door for her. The little girl raised the plate and slowly whispered words so strange, so unbelievable that Adrian almost laughed before she even finished. She told him she could help Elena walk again, heal her legs, if he would simply give her food. For a man who had spent millions searching for a cure, the idea sounded ridiculous, almost insulting. He had heard thousands of promises, but never from a child wearing a torn dress who resembled hunger itself. Yet Elena, with tears still clinging to her lashes, looked at the girl with something Adrian hadn't seen in months. Hope. Real hope. A flicker that fought against her exhaustion and sorrow. Adrian, frustrated with false promises, chuckled under his breath. But the girl didn't shy away. She didn't step back. She simply repeated her request softly, the plate shaking slightly in her fragile hands. He was torn between disbelief and the guilt forming in his chest. Elena's gentle grip on his arm pushed him to reconsider. The girl wasn't asking for money, medication, or attention, just food. And the sincerity in her eyes, steady, unwavering, felt like truth trying to break through all the cynicism he had built. So with a sigh heavy enough to carry all his doubt, he agreed. He asked the staff to bring her a fresh meal. The girl's face softened, her trembling shoulders relaxing as if she had been holding her breath for hours. She ate quietly, gratefully, finishing every crumb. Then, without hesitation, she placed her tiny hand on Elena's leg. In that moment, the air around them seemed to shift. The restaurant, bustling with conversations and clinking glasses, felt strangely silent. Adrian watched with a mixture of confusion and disbelief as the girl closed her eyes. Her expression softened, peaceful, as though she was channeling every ounce of strength she had left into that touch. It lasted only a minute. Just a minute that felt like a lifetime. And when she opened her eyes, they were glowing, not with magic, but with certainty. A certainty Adrian had never seen before. Elena gasped. At first, Adrian thought she merely felt an emotion, but then her fingers clutched the sides of her wheelchair, her face twisting, not in pain, but in shock. She felt something, warmth, movement, a tingling sensation rushing rapidly through her legs. She hadn't felt anything there in months. Tears filled her eyes as she whispered that she could feel her toes. Adrian froze, unable to breathe. He saw her attempt to shift her legs, saw the muscles twitch, saw the life returning to limbs that had been still for so long. It wasn't a miracle neatly wrapped in holy light. It was raw, trembling, unbelievable reality. And then, slowly, shakily, Elena placed her feet on the ground. The girl stepped back, watching silently, her empty plate held close to her chest. Elena gripped the edge of the table, her legs trembling like newborn strength awakening. Adrian reached out, terrified she would fall. But she shook her head. She wanted to try. And in the brightest daylight, under the stunned eyes of a dozen strangers, Elena rose. She cried out as her legs took the weight for the first time in months. Tears streaming down her face. Adrian fell to his knees in front of her, clutching her trembling hands, overwhelmed by the sight of her standing again. The girl smiled faintly, relief washing over her small face, as though she had completed something she was destined to do. Before Adrian could say a word, she turned to leave. He called out to stop her, desperate to understand who she was, where she came from, how she did what no doctor, no fortune, no technology could accomplish.